The moment news broke of Khadiyah Lewis' tragic death, the world of hip-hop and reality TV exploded into chaos. Fans are shocked, group chats are in meltdown, and all eyes are on young Jock. His silence says it all. One minute he was smiling. 4 cameras. The next he's missing from the spotlight. His social media wiped clean, except for one haunting post. "I've lost everything." But what really happened behind the scenes? Sources say the heartbreak runs deeper than anyone can imagine, with old wounds ripped open and secrets no one saw coming. As family and friends gather, desperate for answers, rumors swirl that this loss will change young Jock forever. Was there a hidden message in Khadiyah's final words? What about the mysterious fallout between her and the rest of the cast? Emotions run high as fans demand the truth, and insiders hint at betrayal, guilt, and unresolved love. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into the shocking story that has left a family shattered, a star devastated, and a community searching for someone to blame. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear is only the beginning. And nothing will ever be the same again. Young Jock's world changed in an instant. The night news of Khadiyah Lewis's tragic death hit the airwaves. At first, there was only disbelief. Social media feeds lit up with shocked emojis, old clips of Khadiyah's biggest reality TV moments, and fans sharing blurry screenshots of supposed text exchanges between her and Jock from days before she passed. For a few hours, the internet became a living, breathing memorial, yet underneath every tribute was a burning question. Why does young Jock look so destroyed? And what aren't we being told? Those who know young Jock best say he was never the same. After that first phone call, one source claims he just stared at the wall, shaking his head, repeating, "This can't be real." But as messages poured in from friends, producers, and family, the sense of unreality vanished. What followed was heartbreak in slow motion, a wave of guilt, regret, and old memories crashing down all at once. No one could forget how close Jock and Khadiyah once were, their ups and downs. Their famous fights and makeups all splashed across TV screens for the world to see. But no episode had prepared anyone for this finale. The El Hattal family was left reeling. Castmates reached out, some to offer comfort, others just needing to hear Jock's voice. One described the scene at Jock's home as unbearable, so quiet. You could hear every sob. Close friends tried to rally around him, texting, calling, showing up at his door with food, but he refused to let anyone in. A longtime friend said he locked himself in his room, wouldn't answer calls, barely ate. He just kept replaying their last conversation over and over, wondering if he missed a sign. Meanwhile, the rest of Atlanta's reality TV community erupted in speculation. Some said there'd been an argument between Jock and Khadiyah just days before her death. Others claimed to have seen her crying outside a studio, phone pressed to her ear, looking devastated. Rumors spread that their split had never healed. And some insiders whispered that Khadiyah's final days were filled with regret and confusion over what went wrong. Nobody had all the facts, but everyone had a theory. As the hours passed, grief turned to suspicion. Fans demanded answers, dissecting every recent post, looking for hidden messages. Did Khadiyah leave a note? Had Jock tried to reach her one last time? The more people speculated, the more they fixated on a single idea. Something about her passing wasn't adding up. A cousin, desperate for answers, even went live on Instagram, tears streaming down her face as she begged if anybody knows. What really happened? Please come forward. My family deserves the truth. The comments section exploded, everyone sharing their own wild suspicions. In the days that followed, the atmosphere only grew more intense. Cameras staked out young Jock's house, waiting for a statement that never came. Journalists camped outside Khadiyah's family home, pressing her relatives for details. One tabloid published a photo of Jock's car, parked outside a late-night counseling center, sparking rumors that he was seeking therapy for a mental health crisis. Another outlet released what they claimed was an exclusive interview with a close friend of Khadiyah's, who suggested her passing was not an accident. Though police maintained there was no foul play, as the memorial service approached, emotions hit a breaking point. The night before, Jock's mother reportedly found him pacing in the kitchen, face buried in his hands, muttering, "I should have tried harder. I should have been there." His children, confused and frightened, clung to him, not understanding the depth of his pain. A friend who'd known both Jock and Khadiyah from their earliest days on reality TV said, "He kept blaming himself, saying he'd failed her. It was heartbreaking to watch." The memorial itself became a spectacle. Cameras lined the streets, fans gathered with homemade signs, and former castmates from Lahato reunited for the first time in years. Inside the service, emotions ran high, as tributes played on a loop clips of Khadiyah laughing, dancing, living life out loud. But when it was Jock's turn to speak, the room fell silent. He stepped up to the podium, eyes red, voice trembling, and tried to explain what she meant to him. "We fought, we loved, we lost each other, but she was always in my heart," he choked out, pausing to wipe away tears. "I wish I could turn back time. I wish I could say goodbye one more time." As he spoke, old wounds resurfaced for everyone who knew their story. Friends remembered the happy times road trips, inside jokes, lazy afternoons in Atlanta. Others recalled the bitter fights that played out for millions on reality TV. One castmate whispered, "They were fire and ice." Everyone thought they'd end up back together someday. Okay? Now, with Khadiyah gone, that hope was lost forever. Outside, the memorial fans gathered in groups, some crying openly, others quietly lighting candles. A few took to social media, sharing their own memories of Khadiyah and urging people to check on their loved ones. You never know what someone's going through, one post read, quickly racking up thousands of shares. The outpouring of grief was overwhelming. In the days that followed, the pressure on young Jock only intensified. Media outlets hounded him for an interview, desperate to hear his side of the story. Friends and family urged him to speak out, hoping it would help him heal. But every time he sat down to write a statement, he froze, unable to find the words. A source close to Jock described him as paralyzed by grief, scared to face the world without her. But while the public mourned Khadiyah's death, another storm was brewing behind closed doors. Rumors swirled of unfinished business between her and Jock. A final message, a secret meeting, something left unsaid. Friends whispered about a mysterious phone call the night before she died, and one claimed to have seen Jock outside her apartment looking devastated. Nobody knew for sure, but everyone sensed that the full story had yet to come out. It wasn't long before old castmates and producers started speaking out. Some sharing memories, others hinting at drama. A producer who worked with them both suggested, "There's more to this than people realize. Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried." Suddenly, what had started as a tragedy was turning into a full-blown mystery. Was there more to Khadiyah's last days than anyone realized? And would young Jock ever find peace, or was he destined to be haunted by regret? And just as the media circus seemed to reach its peak, an unexpected twist emerged. A close friend of Khadiyah's surfaced with what they claimed was her last message, sent just hours before her death. The world held its breath, desperate for answers. But what did the message say, and how would it change everything for young Jock? With emotions at a breaking point and secrets ready to spill, it was clear that this story was far from over. The news of Khadiyah Lewis's last message spread like wildfire, sending fans, family, and the entire Latal cast into a frenzy. Within hours, blogs were flooded with blurry screenshots and wild speculation. Was it a confession, a goodbye, or something even darker? One headline screamed, "Khadiyah's final words exposed. Did she reveal her true feelings for young Jock?" Suddenly, every detail of her last days was under a microscope. And everyone who had ever known her was fielding questions they couldn't or wouldn't answer. Young Jock himself was nowhere to be seen, but those close to him described a man on the edge.
Okay.
He hasn't slept in days, a friend confided.
Okay.
He just keeps playing her voice message over and over, trying to find a claw, something he missed, something that could have changed everything. His phone buzzed nonstop, family members begging him to eat, producers pleading for a statement, castmates offering half-hearted comfort, while secretly wondering what the message would reveal about their own roles in the drama. The Lewis family, meanwhile, was in turmoil. Khadiyah's mother, devastated and exhausted, begged the press to give them space, but it was no use. Everywhere she went, strangers asked if the message was real, if it pointed to someone to blame. In hushed conversations, behind closed doors, old resentments surfaced. One relative accused another of leaking private texts, while a cousin insisted that nobody understands what Khadiyah was really going through. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. For the El Hatao cast, the fallout was just as intense. Group chats filled with frantic messages who had seen Khadiyah last, who had spoken to her, who knew what she'd meant by her final words. Some tried to distance themselves from the drama, while others leaned in, eager to capitalize on the sudden spike in attention. One former castmate even teased a Tello interview, promising to reveal secrets that would change the way you see everything. As speculation reached fever pitch, a major entertainment site claimed to have obtained the actual message. They released a dramatic transcript. "I wish I could explain what I'm feeling, but I don't know how. Please forgive me if I ever hurt you. I wish things had turned out differently." The internet exploded. Was this a confession of guilt, or just a cry for help? Did it hint at a hidden relationship, an unresolved argument, or simply the pain of a life lived in the public eye? Young Jock, finally breaking his silence, posted a single photo to Instagram, a black screen with the words, "I'm sorry." Within minutes, the comment section was flooded. Some fans sent love, others demanded answers. The post quickly went viral, with everyone dissecting its meaning. Was he apologizing to Khadiyah, to her family, or just to himself for everything left unsaid? Friends who'd known Jock and Khadiyah for years stepped forward to share their own stories. One recounted a late-night phone call with Khadiyah days before she died. She sounded tired, but she kept asking about Jock. She wanted to know if he was okay. It was like she needed closure, but didn't know how to get it. Another remembered seeing them together at a party months earlier, laughing one minute, arguing the next. They loved hard, but they fought harder. Just who they were. The press, hungry for more, dug into old footage, hunting for signs that might have predicted this ending. One viral clip showed Khadiyah breaking down in tears during a reunion episode, pleading, "I just want to move on, but I can't." Fans reshared the moment, insisting it was proof of her unresolved feelings for Jock. Every new detail only deepened the mystery, making it harder for anyone to let go. The story took another dramatic turn when a tabloid published claims that Khadiyah had been planning to leave Atlanta and start over. She wanted a fresh start, a supposed friend told reporters. But she didn't know how to break away from her past. This revelation set off a new round of speculation. Had someone stopped her? Had she reached out to Jock for help only to be turned away? Rumors swirled of secret meetings, late-night phone calls, and last-minute pleas for forgiveness. All the while, tensions simmered between the families. Khadiyah's relatives blamed Jock for not being there in her final days, while Jock's family insisted he'd done everything he could. An explosive confrontation nearly erupted at a private memorial, with both sides shouting, crying, and accusing each other of hiding the truth. Friends stepped in to separate them, but the damage was done, the wounds were too deep, and trust was shattered. Meanwhile, producers for Lahato were already working behind the scenes, planning a special tribute episode. But as they scrambled to secure exclusive interviews and rare footage, they found themselves caught in the middle of the ongoing feud. Everyone wants to talk, But no one wants to tell the whole story. One producer admitted, "It's like they're all protecting secrets that are bigger than the show." The fans, too, were divided. Some flooded social media with tributes to Khadiyah, sharing stories of how she inspired them. Others called for a boycott of the show, blaming producers for exploiting her pain. Hashtags like #justice for KHADIS and #PrayForJOC trended for days, as supporters took sides and called for answers as the days turned into weeks. The shock of Khadiyah's death faded, but the questions only multiplied. Had her final message been a goodbye or a warning? Was someone in her circle hiding a dark secret? And most importantly, would young Jock ever be able to move on? Or was he doomed to carry the weight of her loss forever? Behind closed doors, Jock struggled to find his footing. Friends worried he was spiraling, isolating himself from everyone who cared about him. "He blames himself for everything," one confidant said. "He keeps asking what he could have done differently." Therapists and counselors offered help, but Jock refused, insisting he needed to grieve in his own way. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Jock was overheard telling a friend, "I wish I could go back. I'd do it all differently. Maybe then she'd still be here." The words echoed through the halls of his home, a haunting reminder that some regrets never fade. As the next Lahadal season approached, everyone wondered, would Jock return? Would he finally share his side of the story? Or would he walk away from the spotlight forever haunted by the loss of the woman he could never truly let go? The days following Khadiyah's memorial blurred into one long, sleepless night for young Jock. He avoided calls, skipped public appearances, and refused to set foot near any Lahadal set or event. Behind closed doors, friends tried to rally around him. But every attempt to pull him back was met with silence, or worse, angry outbursts. He wasn't just grieving, he was drowning in guilt, unable to shake the feeling that Khadiyah's death was somehow his fault. He scrolled endlessly through their old messages, replayed voicemails just to hear her voice, and broke down more than once when he reached a text thread that ended too soon. It didn't help that rumors kept pouring in. Bloggers and so-called insiders claimed to know what really happened between him and Khadiyah. Some said she'd tried to reconcile with him and he'd pushed her away. Others swore they'd seen him with another woman days before her death, fueling a firestorm of accusations that left Jock both furious and numb. His family tried to shield him from the worst of it, but every notification, every news alert felt like another punch to the gut. Even in his lowest moments, the drama outside only grew. Ladle producers pushed forward with their tribute episode, and clips began to leak online. It's a particularly emotional moment, featuring a previously unaired scene of Khadiyah and Jock sharing a vulnerable conversation, had fans sobbing and speculating. She was crying out for help. One fan wrote, her post going viral, and nobody listened. Others pointed fingers at Jock directly, calling for him to speak up, to defend himself, to at least honor Khadiyah with a public goodbye. The mounting pressure finally forced Jock to step outside for the first time in days. He drove aimlessly through Atlanta, haunted by memories of the places they used to visit together, her favorite diner, the park where they used to walk after long shoots, the music studio where he'd once promised to write her a song. Everywhere he went, memories chased him, and he couldn't escape the sense that he'd failed her at the most important moment. He stopped by a church late at night, slipping into a back pew as the city slept. He prayed for answers, for forgiveness, for some sign that Khadiyah could hear him, that she knew how sorry he was. In that silent space, tears finally came, uncontrollable, gut-wrenching sobs that left him exhausted. A kind-faced pastor noticed him and gently sat nearby. "Grief is a storm," the pastor said quietly, "but sometimes, in the eye of it, we find the truth." The interview struck a chord. For the first time since the tragedy, the world seemed ready to listen, not just to the gossip and rumors, but to the pain and humanity beneath it all. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, and even some of Jock's harshest critics admitted they'd underestimated the depth of his grief. Slowly, the storm began to subside. The press moved on to news stories, and the LA Tale crew started planning for the next season, one that would be forever, shaped by Khadiyah's memory. But for Jock, and for everyone who loved her, nothing would ever truly be the same. The lessons of loss, forgiveness, and truth lingered long after the cameras stopped rolling. In those quiet moments, as Atlanta returned to its usual rhythm, Jock found a small measure of peace. He visited Khadiyah's favorite places, left flowers at her grave, and started writing music again, songs that told the real story, not just the one the world wanted to hear. In every lyric and every melody, her spirit lived on. And as the final credits rolled on the season, viewers everywhere were left with one lingering question: how do you move forward when your world has been shattered? And will the scars of the past ever fully heal? The dust may be settling, but the scars remain. For young Jock, Khadiyah Lewis's tragic death isn't just a headline or a plot twist on reality TV. It's a wound that time may never fully heal. Every message from fans, every replay of her last words is a reminder of what was lost and what can never be changed. He walks through Atlanta, each memory of Khadiyah, her laughter, her ambition, her dreams echoing in every corner, making the city feel both too big and unbearably empty at the same time. For everyone watching at home, the story is more than just entertainment. It's a mirror, reflecting our own struggles with love, loss, and the search for meaning after heartbreak. We watched as friendships were tested, families divided, and secrets exposed. But in the end, what matters is the truth that no one escapes pain untouched, and no goodbye is ever truly final. So now, it's your turn. After everything you've seen, every twist, every confession, every tear, what do you believe? Was Jock's grief real, or just another chapter in the never-ending drama of fame? Have you ever lost someone and felt broken, just like him? Share your own stories in the comments. Open up, because your voice matters here. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more real talk and raw drama, and ring the bell so you never miss the next explosive reveal. And most of all, hold your loved ones close, because sometimes the biggest tragedies happen when we least expect them. And the only thing left is the love we carry forward.